most honest podcast.
My reputation speaks for itself.
Veracity Exchange.
Hosted by none other than Brilliance.
It's your dog, Hollywood Spryte, a.k.a. Brilliance. Y'all now tuned in to V.E.T.V, man. And today we got a beautiful guest in the building. None other than NARISSA CUPCAKES. What's going on, love?
It's going good. It's going good.
Yeah, we were a little off this morning. We were off by a couple of hours.
It's that East Coast, West Coast beef, you know?
That's right.
Gotta keep you on your toes.
Right. All right, well, let's get to it. You know what I'm saying? Who is NARISSA? Where are you from, and how was life growing up?
Oh, yeah. So, God, who am I? I don't know. I'm a friendly girl next door, provider, escort. I like to think of myself as a mid-scale, upscale, hooker. Like I'm not like high-end supermodel, but I'm definitely like girl next door. Like I'm like Target level kind of escorting over here. And then, the way I grew up with parents addicted to meth, homeless, shelters. Like, I mean, it was bad. Like, just one of those things where I'm just so glad that I grew up back in the 90s compared to now, because my parents would have pawned those school laptops during COVID so quick. Oh, it would have been bad. It would have been bad.
Where are you from? East Coast, West Coast?
Oh, I mean, West Coast. Yeah. I mean, I was born in Texas, but pretty much raised all through California.
Okay, you have any siblings or anything like that?
Yeah. I mean, my sister, who's like completely the opposite of me, like, it's so crazy how you can grow up in the same household and everybody just is so different. So she works for this $1 billion company. She makes more money than I do, and I suck motherfucking dick. Like, right. She owns a fat ass house, like, just makes so much money. She's doing so good. She has like the perfect job, but she's already working towards her master's degree. Right. And then we have my brother, who's in a group home because he's autistic, so he can't really like take care of himself. Okay. And then my dad has been clean and sober for so many years, and it's crazy because he was a shitty dad, but he's like amazing grandpa, right? And like he actually just graduated. He got a bachelor's degree, and now he's working on his PhD. So it's like, it's never too late to like change your life,
Right. Yeah, I always tell people that, man, it's never too late. You know what I mean?
I'm doing this. So I definitely feel like I'm a little like the odd man out when it comes to success. But I do feel like I'm doing a lot better than the way I grew up, for sure. Yeah. I consider it successful just because of the fact that when I first started doing this, I was on welfare, living in an apartment in the hood. Now I own my home in the hood, and I haven't been on welfare in years.
Right. Okay. So how did you even get into this career path?
So I actually used to work front desk. I worked front desk since I was like 18. So I've been in hospitality for over 10 years, and the girls would come down. I guess I just have that personality where, like, no matter what job I do, people just start talking to me and they start telling me these stories. Like, they feel open because I'm so non-judgmental. I think people kind of get that from the gate. Right. And they would tell me, they would come down, they would tell me stories about the pimps, about like their folks. They would tell me, golly, like the rob stuff that they would do, the little tricks that they would pull. And I saw it all. Like I busted out a bat and I ran after a pimp that was beating on some hoe, and she came down like, "You need to mind your business." And I was like, my bad. I had a girl that called me from her room, and at first I thought she was laughing. I had just seen a guy walk up to her room. And then I realized that she was crying. I ran up there. She's in the shower, beaten. It was crazy. And her pimp wasn't there for her. I was there for her, taking care of her. And it's just crazy. Like, I saw it all. And that's kind of how I decided I was going to get into this, because I was like, at the time, it was at the height of Redbook, where anybody with a pussy could post on the internet, right? Okay. Prices started getting driven down. Girls were just competitive as hell, but it was also where it was like girls were robbing guys. Like, I saw it at my hotel. All the girls from Oak Park, Sacramento area, they were all from Oakland. All of these girls were robbing these guys. And I was like, they would come down and be like, oh, I made this much. And I was like, damn, you make all that money?
Right.
But they didn't have anything to show for it. And I'm all, if I made that kind of money, I would not be happy that my pimp had a car with rims on it. I would be like, I'd be paying bills. I would fix my credit. And I they would just come down and tell me about all of this money that they made. And then I started kind of feeling bad for the guys. Like, I don't know, like there was something where it was like, damn, like he picked your picture. Like he thought you were so pretty that he wanted to spend his money on you, and you robbed him. Like, I don't know. I started feeling bad. Like it went from, because I was very like, oh yeah, these guys are tricks. Like, like, yeah, get them,
Right.
To then my mentality was like, damn, I kind of feel bad. Like, he gave you how much money? Like, oh my God. So then I decided, you know what? I'm going to try it. Worst case scenario, I make a little money and then I never do it again. And I stay working at the hotel. I stay on welfare,
Right.
Worst case scenario, right? So I threw up an ad because I remember the girls telling me about Redbook. I didn't know all the lingo, but I was like Googling, trying to make sure that I was, I was a little up on game, right?
Right.
And so my first call, the guy's like, do you speak Greek? And I'm like, no, and he's like, okay, you know what? I don't know if you understand what I'm asking. And I was like Greek, like the language. And he's like, I'm asking if you let me fuck you in the ass. And I was like, no, you cannot do that. Oh my God. And then I realized like, okay, I'm kind of goofy. Maybe I don't know what I'm doing. But then I got this like really scared Asian guy. He was my first client ever. He walks into the room. He puts the money down. I gave him a hug, and then he came in his pants and he thanked me, and then he left. And it was like, I didn't realize it at the time, but at that moment I said, this is the easiest fucking job I've ever had, and I'm never gonna leave. Now, obviously, they're not all like that, but that was my very first experience. And so for me, I was like, if it would have been a bad experience, I probably would have left. I wouldn't be doing this interview now. But my very first experience was like, dude, I started using my my hotel employee. I was booking every time I had a day off. I was booking rooms in San Francisco for $35. I was using my hotel discount like crazy. I was paying $35. So at the time when the market was, lower and all the girls were charging these lower prices and stuff, I mean, it didn't affect me at all because I was paying $30 for a room, downtown San Francisco. I could stay in downtown LA and I paid $40 on my employee discount.
So how did you avoid the pimps?
I guess honestly, I don't know if you could tell from my YouTube, but I got a little bit of a fucking mouth. I don't know any guy that would be able to tolerate. At the time I was married, so I was doing it behind his back. So
Whoa. So you were married as well?
Yeah. I started doing this behind his back. That was my first marriage. Both times I got caught. I'm an idiot. I give all this advice to the guys, like don't be goofy. Make sure you put if you're gonna have a hobby phone, don't fucking bring it home with you. Find a hiding spot, turn it on silent. And my oh my God, I was in the shower when I got caught, and I had been doing it for a little while.
Right.
No, I was like, I'm getting all these extra hours at work, And I made the mistake of, I had it hidden in my purse. I thought I had put it on silent, but it turns out I put it on vibrate. And I had like this like rip in the bottom of my purse that I had hid it.
Right.
My purse is vibrating, but he sees my phone on the charger and he's like, and I'm in the shower. So he's like, why is this purse vibrating? That's weird, right?
Right,
He goes
right.
through my purse. He sees all these text messages. I'm in the shower. He busts in like, what the fuck is this? And I'm like, damn, you shouldn't have been going through my shit, but let me get out of the shower.
Right. Yeah, that's wild.
I get dressed and we tried to make it work, but it was just like, I mean, we should have got divorced a long time ago. That was just like the catalyst of like, bitch, what are you doing? Like, oh my God. Like he was never one of those guys that's cool with stuff like that. I mean, we barely had sex as it is. So him even with the idea of like, you're getting sex other places was even worse. Like,
but do you think you did it as well? Since y'all were already having, I guess, marital trouble, you know what I'm saying? Or was that part of the reason, or you just?
No, I mean, honestly, like I mean, even in my marriage, like we both were like kind of, you know, not great. Right. So I just kind of feel like I do whatever I want, whenever I want it. I don't think I'm a relationship type person. I think I try to do right. Like anytime I date and I start getting into a serious relationship, I always quit this life for a little bit. Like, no, I'm gonna be like a good woman.
Right.
But then at the end of the day, it's like, I mean, I want to do what I want when I want. And I hate the idea of like some man like being able to control anything. So I like having my own money. I don't like the idea of someone making more money than me. I'm very fucking competitive when it comes to stuff like that. And I have to have more money. Money is control in a relationship. So if I'm not doing this, men almost always make more money than me. Like they always make more money. I don't really have that many skills. Like I have personality, but that doesn't translate to a high paying job.
I get it.
Yeah. So this is the only way that I hold control. If I have money, I book the trips. I'm the one that takes the family out. I'm the one that can do everything. Like you can't do anything for me. And therefore you hold no power in the relationship. Plus, I use money to control men, so it like doesn't work out. It doesn't work out. It doesn't work out.
So I mean, pretty much you like control. You like to be in control. I got it.
Yeah. I just like to be in control in the relationship with the fact that like I don't want any man to think that he runs shit. So having a pimp never would make sense to me. There's nothing that a pimp could ever do for me. I was rated like the top best provider on Redbook like 2 years in a row. Okay. I have like 30,000 views on TikTok. I've got 75,000 views on my YouTube. I book out months in advance for some of these cities. Like I book out, I have bookings in July, which are paid. Like, so the idea of like a pimp, first of all, I got a mouth. You're going to want to hit me because you can't tell me nothing. But I also have 4 pimps already, and they're my daughters. What do I look like giving a man money when I got 4 kids that need money? Like, they want the lights on. They need their shoes for school. They want to run stuff too, you know. They got their iPads. Oh, yeah. I tell everybody, I'm like, oh, no, I have pimps already. I got 4 of them. They're under 18, and they run this house. They're the only ones that can get me to do anything.
Right. So what services do you provide?
So I know that there's like the debate of like non-GFE versus GFE. I am considered a GFE provider. I don't offer bareback sex. I do offer.
Okay. Let's slow it down a second because a lot of people don't know what that is. So explain that as well. GFE. What is GFE?
Well, GFE really can't be broken down like that because everybody's definition is different. Now, for me, I use the classic definition. A GFE is almost always someone that sucks dick without the condom, right? Now, that definition has changed a lot. A lot of ladies don't like the fact that that's the definition. So they say GFE, but they're like, no, it's girlfriend experience. Girlfriend experience just means that I'm nice to you. I love on you. Like we cuddle and you feel good in my room. But I mean, technically that's kind of like not what it is. There was like a whole debate in Redbook over it, but you know, ladies can do whatever they want. They can define it however they want. But me personally, GFE is just you allow bareback blowjobs, which is without the condom, and datey, which is, you know, dining at the Y, which is licking pussy. So if you want to lick my pussy, you can lick my pussy, you know. But I do that. I do blowjobs without the condom. I do allow datey. I do allow kissing, and obviously multiple positions because, you know, it's like that's like half the fun is getting out there and doing all the stuff that, you know, maybe you're missing in your life, or, you know, that you like, you know, you want to feel good about yourself. Like, yeah, I had her like this and I had her like that, you know.
Right.
You just want to make a man feel good. That's really what it is at the end of the day. So, I mean, but I also offer like body worship. Body worship is just somebody like, usually the guys will like, they want to massage you. They'll put their face like in your booty and, you know, just like rub it on their face. They rub their face in your titties. You know, it's literally like they just want to rub their hands all over your body.
You don't have to give a, you know, accurate amount, but what's the price range for these type of services?
Yeah, like a regular session, that includes a lot of that, would be like a quickie is $150, a half hour is $250, an hour is $400. But other escorts, I mean, you could find an escort for, I mean, God, I mean, it ranges so much, and then it depends on states and cities and stuff. But I mean, for an hour, I've seen it from $200 an hour all the way up to $2,000 an hour. So it just depends. And the $2,000 an hour, usually the girl doesn't offer anything. Well, no, I won't say that because that sounds like I'm putting her down. I'm not putting her down, but I mean, like usually that's non-GFE, you know. So you're really paying for being in the presence of like her beauty, because it's always these gorgeous women. Like I'm talking like model women that are like $2,000 an hour. Like you're paying to be like in her presence, and she's gorgeous. So it's like, you know, there's always, it's so funny because guys want to argue about rates. There's always somebody for something, right?
There's always somebody to do it for less.
There's always somebody that'll do it for less. There's always somebody that'll do it for more. That's the crazy part. Like, because I'll see like a girl for $1,000 an hour, and she gets booked and she's flying out, and guys are buying her purses, like Louis purses, and I'm like, I mean, I do a lot in $400 for an hour. Like you getting a lot.
So what's like one of the biggest misconceptions that people have about, you know, you like your field and your expertise?
They think we all do drugs. Everybody in this has a pimp and everybody's on drugs. Now, while I will say that there are a lot of girls that do have pimps, and it is unfortunate, with the internet, it has made it where a lot of girls have left these pimps. Once they realize that they can do this without them, like, and honestly, all the information you ever need to get into this field is on the internet. You can find it and you can figure it out. So I feel like there is a lot of girls with pimps, but the other thing is that we're all on drugs. I don't even smoke weed. I don't do nothing. I'm pretty square. Like compared to like what people think it is, I'm pretty square. Like I don't do nothing. But I know that that's why I do my YouTube and I do the TikToks and stuff, because I kind of want to show like, no, some of us are really normal. Like, and honestly, it's not even some. There's a lot of women that are in this that are so normal. Like, we go grocery shopping for our kids. We pay our bills. Like, we're not out clubbing every weekend. I mean, I know that that's like a big one. They're like, oh, these women don't have custody of their kids. Like, no, a lot of us do this because we got to take care of these kids, you know? Like, that's, and we like our kids. There's bitches not in this industry that look down on us that ain't even got custody. It's crazy.
That's a fact.
Yeah, but we're normal. We're so normal. Not everybody in this is forced to do this. Like, trust me, I get that human trafficking happens, but some of us consent to this. Some of us, this is just like any other job. Like, you know, we get exploited one way or another, right? And at least with this, we have control over the situation. You know, I can control who comes in my room. And as you can tell, I have a little issue with control, just a little bit.
What advice do you have for guys, you know, I guess, you know, as far as booking, you know what I mean? Trying to find these services online and, you know, avoiding the scams.
So, I mean, I did do like a whole YouTube video under NARISSA CUPCAKES, you know, I think I said handy dandy guide to booking an escort, but going on legit sites, which I don't know if you might have to edit out if I list those sites. I don't know if you're allowed to, but tris.link, privatedelights.ch are like the two top ones. If you're on the East Coast, it'll be TNA board. Or Seattle, Washington, those areas are TNA board. If you're in the Midwest, you've got, you know, Preferred 411. You've got the other board, which isn't so great, but it still works. But there's sites that are super legit. So don't use these sites like List Crawler, Bed Page, like these sites where it's Skip the Game, where it's these ads with fake pictures. There's no vetting. Anybody can post. You know, you're over here sending a deposit to a guy in India right now. Like, what are you doing? You know, you use these sites that are legit where the girl has to send an ID to, you know, to even sign up. The sites that I listed, those are legit. So you do your research. If she has social media, add it. Does she have a website? Look at it, right? Usually girls will have how to book them right there. You know, some girls don't even screen. So if you're brand new to this, see a newbie friendly girl, you know, like get in the hours that you need to get in to be able to see some of these more higher end ladies, you know, because I will say, like, not that lower end, you know, you're going to get less, but, you know, you'll start seeing girls at better hotels. Right. You know, the quality of service does start to kind of go up as you spend a little more money.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, research, like there's no reason why anybody should be getting busted in a sting. Like in this day and age with all of these resources, you should not be getting busted in a sting. So you go through, you read her website, you make sure if she has reviews, read those reviews. Like, oh, okay, she looks, wow, okay, everybody has something good to say about her. Perfect. You hit her up, you let her know, hi, I'm so-and-so. I'd like to see you on this date for this time. How can I get screened? Or does that work for you? Are you available? Anything like that, and you'll already be out the gate like perfect. Right. You'll probably get booked like that. The girl will be like, damn, he knows what he's doing. Okay, I'll see you.
Right. So what's your thoughts on OnlyFans?
Well, I'm not really a big fan of OnlyFans right this second because they flagged like a whole bunch of my videos. Like even just like me by myself playing with myself, they flagged it and took like over 100 videos down. So I'm still posting on there, but I'm slowly trying to move everything over to just for fans. I again, like it's like you have to go where the money is, and I can't make money with a site that's going to keep flagging everything I do, because, you know, it's like I have to be able to be diverse, and I'm constantly thinking of new content and new things to do and provide. So I can't be stifled in my creativity, you know?
Okay. So when someone books you, you know what I'm saying, ladies such as yourself, we'll just say when someone books you, what's one of your biggest pet peeves?
Don't ask me if I'm a cop. It's like, I'm block. Like what? Like I've got 50 million sites to look at, and you're asking me if I'm real?
Right.
Like, no, block. But I hate when people, they pay the deposit, we got the booking, we got the time and everything, and then that's when they go and they throw something out there. Like biggest pet peeve ever is they book and then they're like, oh, by the way, do you offer anal? You know, or something like completely out of, like, you already booked and it says right on my website, I don't do that. You booked, you paid the deposit, and you're asking me if I'm a shit on your chest. Like, wait, you should have asked that before you sent the deposit, because I don't do that. Now I got to send you the money back, and I don't want to. I don't want to because you didn't read. I'm going to because it's the right thing to do. But I'm irritated the whole time. I'm refunding you like, this motherfucker, I'm going to block you right after I'm done with this shit, you know?
Right. And with that sting situation, man, could you explain for the guys about that? You know, because everybody feel like, you know, if it is a sting operation, the cops have to say, hey, I'm a cop. You know what I mean?
No, and I dispel that on my TikTok too. Undercover cops do not have to identify themselves. If you ask him if he's a cop, if he's in uniform, they have to identify themselves. If it is a sting, they do not have to tell you they are a police officer. So asking a woman if she's a cop, they're going to say, no, I'm not a cop. Come on by. Like, duh. Yeah. That's what cops want you to believe that that's real, because it helps them. Like, yay, we get to bust you super easy because you're like, well, she said she wasn't a cop. You know,
right.
And you get arrested, and you're like, oh shit, what the fuck?
So what's one of your like a favorite story that you like to tell people? One of your like most funniest memories or moments in this industry that you like to go back to and tell people about?
I mean, honestly, I got one, but it's kind of gross. But I had that. So it was a long time ago. All right, it was like a long time ago. So I had some guy that wanted an out call. An out call is me going to his place. and it was in the middle of nowhere. I'm talking like this dude could have been a serial killer, right?
Right.
But my new in the industry ass went out there anyways. I drove out there to the fucking woods, right? I get all the way out there, and it's a big, heavy-set guy, right? So he pays me the money, and he's like, I didn't tell you this because you probably wouldn't have thought this was real. And I felt like if you saw that I'm real, you saw that the money's here, that maybe you'd be able to help me. And I'm just like, okay, what are you into? And he's like, I found out that my roommate is fucking my girlfriend, and I want to get back to him. I have tried everything in my power to shove his toothbrush up my ass, and I can't do it. Like, I'm not gay. I can't do it. I want to go through, and I'm shoving every random thing I can from his room up my ass, and he's not going to know. And I'm like, wait, like, do you really have a roommate, or you just want me to shove stuff from your house up your butt? And he's like, no, I really have a roommate. And he he showed me pictures of the dude. Like, he showed me like like some of the food was marked like with the guy's name or whatever. Like it was clearly divided. And I'm like, maybe this guy does have a roommate. But I was like, I don't know. I feel like morally, I don't think I can do that. And he's like, you gotta help me. Like, no provider's gonna come all the way out here. They're not gonna think this is real. Like, if you could just help me shove his toothbrush, some of his food up my butt, and I'm gonna put it back, that would really help me. Like, I just want some type of revenge. I just want some type of revenge. And I'm like, no, even for money, I can't. Like, I can't. That just seems like bad karma.
That's crazy.
You're gonna freaking put your roommate's toothbrush up your ass, and then he's gonna brush his teeth in the next day. Like, so I ended up giving him the money back and told him, like, you're gonna have to call somebody else. I can't do it. So I felt really bad, but I ended up leaving. I never did find out if he was able to shove it up his butt or not. There's a well-known guy. He's pissed off a lot of girls. There's a guy that he has to have a good job. He has to have a good job. I ignored every red flag. He was super late. He kept texting like, you're legit, right? You're legit. And I'm like, and at that time, it was kind of slow for me. And I kept ignoring the red flags. My gut was telling me just to cancel on him, and I didn't.
Right.
He was an Indian guy that showed up in a brand new Mercedes. So he had money. He came in a nice suit. He has to have a good job. Nice shoes. You're thinking, yeah, this guy has his shit together. Except he comes in my room. He's acting kind of weird. He's like, I want to check and make sure there's no pimps in your room. He checks under my bed. He pulls out a drawer. I'm like, do I have a midget pimp? Who the hell's going to fit in there? But he pulls out the drawer, making sure there's nobody in there. Maybe little people. I don't know. But he checks the bathroom and everything. And then I noticed he was kind of getting a little too close to my purse. And I was like, all right, buddy, you need to get over here. So I'm like, you need to put the money down. And he was like, oh, let me get more comfortable. I'm like, no, you need to put the money down. And like, you have money. I see all this stuff. Like, he has a nice watch on. Like, very put together looking guy, right?
Right.
You think he's totally normal, but I'm thinking maybe he's just really nervous. Finally, he puts the money down and he pulls down his pants, and the smell whoosh, hits me. I almost threw up. I mean, it was bad. Right. I noticed he had shit running down his legs. He's wearing red satin like thong, and he shit himself. And I'm like, and again, red flag. I don't know like nowadays I would have kicked his ass out, right? Like, no, I wouldn't even have took the appointment. I'm like, you got to take a shower. Like, you got to take a shower. I can't, you can't do that. And then I noticed he had like a backpack with him, and I don't know why I didn't notice it before, but he has a backpack with him, and he was like, oh, before I take a shower, is it cool? And he starts opening up the backpack. He's like, is it cool if I smoke? And I'm like, no, you can't smoke in my room. I don't smoke. I'm sensitive to it. He busts out. He's like, no, it's not that kind of smoke. He busts out a fucking meth pipe with a rock already in it. He was like, no, it's not that kind of smoke. I said, no, get the hell out. You gotta go. Like, I tolerated way more than I should have, but you can't do meth in my room. He goes, he pulls up his pants, and he's like, I'm going to drink your blood. I'm going to kill you. I started pushing him out, and he's like, give me my money back. And I was like, you're not getting your money back. Get the fuck out of my room. And I throw him like half back. I finally push him out. he leaves and I'm like, what the fuck does this guy do for a job? Like, I'm so curious. Like, he does meth, but he's in like, I mean, I'm telling you, like, he was just nice. Like I mean, who's going to believe that? Like, you see a regular businessman down the street. Are you thinking he's going to shit himself? No, you're not thinking he's into no shit like that. You're not thinking he does meth. You're not thinking anything like that. But this guy does. Like, this guy does.
So how many times have you experienced, having a client that wanted to remove you from the escort life?
All the time. I mean, honestly, like, it'll be even like a one-time visit and they're like, I love you.
Right.
And which I get told I love you a lot. I do get told I love you a lot. But
you do have a great personality.
You know what I think a lot of it is I hate to say it like this, but the bar is really low in the industry. I do feel like because there's so many girls in this that, it's like one of those things where if you've never had a regular job, you don't learn certain things, right? Like if I was late to work like 3 times, I would get fired, right? Like you would get written up, you would get in trouble if you're late. But in this industry, you can't get fired, right? There's some skills that you have to, now there are a lot of girls that have never had a regular job that learn things like, being on time, making sure that you're clean, making sure your room is clean, things like that. And so the bar is kind of low. So I feel like when guys come to see me, they're so excited that like I have a shower provided. I do my room up. I've got LED lights. I've got gum. I've got dude wipes. I've got little mouthwashes, personal little mouthwashes. And they're like, oh, crap. Because I also don't do things like, if you book me, you will never wait in the parking lot. I don't do that. Your time is just as valuable as mine. Why would I do that to you? Like, again, if you work a regular job, you got to be on time, right? So why would I not do that in this job? Because this is a job too. Like, I got to be professional. And so I think a lot of guys, they mistake like me providing a good service with, oh my God, like, this is a genuine connection and I want to be with her. It's like, I don't want to be with anybody. Like, I do appreciate some of my regulars are really awesome, like really good guys.
Right.
But like, I don't want to marry anybody and I don't want to date anybody. I'm sorry. I don't want to date.
Enjoying that freedom.
Yeah. I mean, I've already done the marriage thing. Obviously, I know what I'm doing. Like, guys get with me and they want to give me a ring. I've been engaged like 4 times. Like,
okay.
I obviously know how to do something right. I don't want it. Like, I don't want it.
So for other females, I guess I want to get some information in for the females as well. What are some of the common things that, other females may struggle with in their field? If you could give them some advice to, help them out a little bit, you know what I mean?
I mean, one thing I will say is always trust your gut. I think sometimes when things are slow, you have to plan like the good days. You have to remember there are going to be slow days, right? Like any industry. And I think that even when it's slow, don't go against your gut, right? Because that's always when some shit happens. When you're like, I never would have took this appointment any other time. Don't take it now because you're like, oh, but I need this money. Not all money is good money, right? That's a hard one, I think, for a lot of people in any industry, is not all money is good money. And sometimes you have to just be like, something ain't right with this.
That's how a lot of drug dealers end up in prison. You know what I mean? They get down, I'm going to make this, they need the money, so they got to make that one last move or that one last play that they would normally never make. You know what I mean? But it short on money and they make it happen. And next thing you know, drug bust. You're going away 20 years.
No, and it's similar like that. Yeah, when you're focused on money, right? You can't let it rule everything, and that's when you start making mistakes. But I think that's a big one, and I hate to say it, and I know the guys are going to be like, no, don't listen to her. But I will say, when you raise your rates, the clients get better. It's one of those things where the guys don't want to hear that. And I get it. Trust me. Cause I'm not crazy. I know this is an expensive hobby to have. Right. Like this isn't like, I'm not disillusioned. Right. Like, oh, I just think anybody can afford it. Like, trust me. I know that some of these guys save up for months. They only do this maybe once a year, twice a year. That dedication, like, I appreciate it, but I will say, when you raise your rates, the clients get so much better. The shit that I was dealing with when my rates were like $50 cheaper, $100 cheaper quite a few years ago. Cut. Like, I don't deal with half of that stuff. None of it.
Right.
The clients are just, I mean, they're not in it to be like, I'm going to get my money's worth, so I'm going to try to fuck you like you're a sex doll. Like, no, they're there. They really just want to enjoy, you know, the passion, the time together. And yeah, of course, the sex, right? But it's much more of a whole experience and not just like them focusing on that one thing, which guys that are cheaper tend to be like, I gotta stretch this dollar, so I'm gonna make her do this, right? And then you're gonna run yourself ragged. You can't work like that 24/7. You just can't, you know? You won't have longevity, that's for sure.
So give the fans, you know, your fans and the listeners and followers something about yourself that they don't know. I did find out you like to read books.
I've made it pretty clear, like I'm a mother first. So I mean, anything fun that I do is when I'm with them. Like, there's like, we like amusement parks, we go to the beach. I don't really have like anything that I do that doesn't involve them. Like, I'm very active mother, but I mean, I guess besides reading, because I do read a lot, and so I'm currently on this bizarro fiction kick. Okay. And so I've been reading some really weird shit, right? But I love it. I love true crime. Oh, so this is something people probably don't know, but I love true crime, right? Which that sounds basic, right? Like, oh, every bitch loves true crime, right? I love true crime, but I refuse to watch it if I'm on tour. I worry that I'm gonna like bring something and that's when I'm gonna get murdered. So, and I'm not religious, I'm not superstitious. It's the one thing that I have that's irrational, but I binge watch true crime on YouTube, on Netflix, Hulu, all of that, but I will not watch it if I'm on tour. Like, the idea of like, because I'm watching it, that's going to bring a serial killer to my room or something. I'm like, and it's so irrational.
Have you been in any scary situations?
Not compared to what all the stories that I've heard from other ladies that have shared with me. I feel like I've been very fortunate in this industry. I haven't ever, I mean, I have, because you cannot, for anybody that's not in this industry, if a girl ever is like, oh, wow, she makes it sound like it's always fun and great. I'm gonna tell you right now, it's an occupational hazard. I've been raped. That comes with the territory. Like, you're getting paid all this money because you might get raped once or twice. Like, and that's on the conservative side. Again, I've been very lucky. I've only been raped twice in this industry for as long as I've been in here. I know ladies that have been raped multiple times. I've known ladies that have been beaten and robbed, and I've never had that. A provider that I'm really good friends with just recently had a gun to her head while she was. She thought she was legit gonna die. She thought she was gonna die. And after it happened, he showed her, oh yeah, I didn't even have any bullets in it.
That's crazy.
It was just, yeah. And so I feel very fortunate that I've only been twice, but that's you know, that's the industry. That's just how this job is. Like, you're paying me, right, for a good time. And my rates are the way they are because of the hazard pay, right? Like, I'm getting hazard pay.
How long have you been in this industry?
Off and on, 14 years. I started off on Redbook, but I always take these really long breaks. When I was getting my degree, I took like right around midterms. I think I took a year off. I've taken months off, and now I do a thing where I always take about 2 months from the industry, work my regular jobs, and then I come back, and then I tour, and then I take another 2 months, because I think mental health is really important, but I also think it keeps you humble. I think a lot of ladies run themselves ragged in this, and then they wonder why they are the way they are. Right. I make sure that I spend a ton of time with my kids. I make sure that when I take my breaks, it's like the bills are paid, everything's good, but I need to be home, right? I need to be home. Because the pay is great, but some clients are difficult and it does run your energy low. Right. And yeah, so you need to take a lot of breaks because you're still giving yourself, you're giving your body, you know? So, I mean, it's not always easy. Not everybody comes in with good hygiene. I'm going to tell you right now, not everybody knows how to touch a woman.
Right. And that was one of my questions. How important is hygiene? You know what I mean?
So important. And I don't know why this is, it's one of those things where obviously, like, I can't tell you like what to eat and stuff like that, because if you're not there, it's, but that's a big thing too. I don't think a lot of people like a lot of junk food and stuff. You sweat through it, like, yeah, hygiene is so important. But some guys, look, the only time they ever see a woman, like, their wife is like, when you get used to a scent and you don't even recognize it anymore.
Right.
I think some of it has to do with that. I think even like their wives, right? The ones that are married or have girlfriends are so used to them smelling a certain way. I mean, if you didn't know you stink, you don't know you stink, right? If nobody told you, yeah. And so you come in and you're thinking you're good to go.
Right.
But I'm not your wife. I'm not used to the smell. And I'm like, hey, baby, let's go take a shower together.
Right.
Let me help you scrub your balls.
That's crazy. So have you ever had, I'm assuming so, you ever had any couples?
I actually don't see couples. I don't see couples.
Okay. And what's the reason behind that?
I always feel like, now, not to say that there's not women, right? That there's not women that are into it. But I do feel like men tend to kind of push the issue. And I feel like a lot of times, I feel like most of the time, it's because the man wants it and the girl's just kind of going along with it. And I just don't want to be part of that. Like, I don't have any way to vet that she's 100% into this and that it's not just for him. And so I prefer not to. Plus, you can't gauge how a woman's going to react. She might seem like she's cool with it, and then the minute that we're kissing and she flips, I hate to say it, but I'm probably gonna whip. I grew up in the hood. I'd probably whip your wife's ass, and then you're gonna want to fight me. Like,
you never know how it's gonna pan out. They'll say, "Yeah, I'm down," and then as soon as you get down with the get down, the vibe's off. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's different when it's a fantasy than when it's actually happening, right? Like, everybody thinks like you're thinking when you're talking about it, it sounds hot, but then you see a bitch sucking your man's dick, and you're going, "I want to kill this hoe." Like. I'm going to kill her. Like, I'd rather not. I'd rather not put myself in that position. Like, so I don't do the couples. I don't do couples.
As far as the other women in the industry, do y'all have is it any type of unity?
I do feel like in some sense there is unity, in some sense there's not. We have our blacklist. Like, we have ways to share things with each other. We only share it, like, if you're not robbing, beeping and robbing bitches, then you don't have to worry. But if you are, like, we're going to talk, we're going to share your stuff, But there is a problem with some of these providers get a little too comfortable with clients. And that's when the unity stops, because when you're telling clients, what other providers are saying, like, because when I was raped by a well-known hobbyist that literally saw so many girls. I warned a bunch of ladies and I posted about it. Like, look, this guy did this to me. And the first thing that some ladies did was screenshot and send it right to him. Like, "You've never raped me. I can't believe she said that." A couple of months after that, there were new reports. He started raping other bitches, right? I tried to warn. But that, right, you got so comfortable. It doesn't matter. A client can treat different ladies different ways.
Right.
I mean, he'll be great to you and then he'll rob the next girl, right? Like, you cannot predict. So I think some of any unity we don't have is because providers think that every single one of these guys is their best friend, their friend, and choose to share information that they shouldn't share, right? Because it puts all of us at risk when these lists get out. Like, these guys aren't dumb. They know who did it, and we have to worry about retaliation because you were like, "But he was so nice to me." Like, oh my god, like. Like, oh my God, I have to tell him he's so nice. Like, it's not right that you wrote that about him, and it's like, bitch.
Right.
I still want like what? So I do feel like we have unity. The only problem is just there's always a few bad apples with anything, right? There's girls out here rapping people, right? Like,
so as far as you in the industry, do you have any type of regrets?
I mean, the only thing I think I would regret is I wish when I was first doing this, I wish I would have spent my money differently. I think that when you first start, you get excited and you blow money.
Okay.
Right? Like you blow it because you're not used to it and you buy dumb shit. And I tell people all this time to make the distinction. It's not easy money. Right. It's not easy money. It's fast money. If I'm broke, I throw up an ad, I use my credit card, I get a hotel room, and now I have money. Right? So you blow through it really fast. So when I first started out, I just wish I would have invested in all the things that I'm doing now. I wish I would have started a long time ago because I would be even better off, right? I'm just within the last couple of years, like actually doing what I'm supposed to be doing, right? Which, you know, better late than never, but damn. But I was able to buy a home. I drive a new car. Like, I mean, I have money that goes towards my kids' education. And I even have a fucking Roth IRA. Like, I'm trying to plan for retirement. It's just that it would have looked a lot better if I would have started 14 years ago. I've tried to educate people, like, anybody that I come across, like, you know, it doesn't hurt. Like, yes, invest, but a Roth IRA, making sure that you put money away in savings accounts with good interest rates for your kids. When my kids turn 18, I might keep it till 21, but when my kids turn 18, they're going to have a very nice little setup for, you know, making sure college or whatever else. Like, because my money isn't mine, it's my family's, you know? You
have daughters or boys or both?
Yeah, no. That was my that's my karma. No, I got all girls.
So as far as your daughters, you know what I'm saying? If they chose to head down that career path, what would you tell them?
I mean, I'll be honest, I only have an associate's degree, and the only jobs I've ever had are all minimum wage jobs. I have never held a job that didn't pay minimum wage. So I'm hoping that my kids have enough education and enough skill set to where they can not come in this industry just because of it is more dangerous. Like I said, like you're gonna get raped. You're not gonna be in this industry and you're not gonna not get raped. Like that's just part of the industry.
Right.
I'm hoping that they can do something close to like what my sister's doing. You know, my sister makes more money than what I make doing this. Like my sister makes more money, and not just that, but her job matches her 401k. It's gonna match her retirement. She has a life insurance policy where if something happens to her, I'm going to get over $1 million, right? Like she has a good job. I'm trying to do everything possible now to set them up to not have to rely on this. Like I want them to make more money without the risk. Like my 14-year-old just got accepted into a special high school that's for pre-med students. She's in all honors classes, straight A's, and she's on track to become a doctor, right? Like literally on track at 14, about to be 15, and she's on track to become a doctor.
That's dope.
Yeah, I've also went and paid for classes, so they have side hustles where they do nails. I paid for the classes, they do nails, like nails, you know? And so they never have like this like craving of like, I need to make money. They're very comfortable and they have skills. I mean, I grew up, like what I do is like I constantly have a fear of being homeless because I grew up homeless. I mean, we slept at a park in a tent. I grew up in Salvation Army. So for me, money is everything, right? I don't want them to have this obsession with, oh my God, I have to make sure if I don't work, we're not going to have a house. If I don't work, we're not going to have a car, you know, like they don't have this like need. I feel almost like I'm like constantly terrified that like we're going to be homeless. Like I fucking own my house, but I'm like, no, we might, you know, like we could, it's possible. But if one of my daughters ever came to me and was like, I don't care, because usually I kind of went into this differently. Most girls start off as strippers and then end up like this, right? Like it tends to be the pipeline. But if my daughter came to me and was like, and obviously she would have to be of age, you know, and was like, I want to get into this, I would try everything in my power not to have her do that. I would try to think like, wait, maybe I would work more and try to get her into something else. But if she was adamant, then I would have to teach her how to do it safely. Like, if I can't, because at the point of her being an adult, there's only so much you can do, right? Like, you can guide your children the best possible way, but they're gonna do what they want to do when they get old enough, right?
Facts.
Yeah. So the only thing I could do is teach her how to do it safe. This is how you screen. I'm not gonna be doing no duos. I'm not gonna be like, no, like I'm not that cool of a mom. Not that cool, okay? But I would teach her how to do it safe. I mean, like I said, you can treat your kids and do everything right, and one of them ends up on drugs, right? Like,
that's a fact.
Yeah, they grow up in these good homes, and the parents were there, and fucking addicted to heroin, you know? So the only thing I can do is try my best. And yeah, if one of them ends up, you know, in this lifestyle, that's all I can do is go, okay, well, this is how you do it then.
Right.
But I don't want to catch you doing this, or this. You better not be doing out here raw dogging nobody. Like,
right.
You better be safe. Yeah. But I mean, I guess, I don't know if that makes me a terrible mother or.
No, I mean, it just makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Because like you said, you can't stop anybody from doing anything. You know what I mean? So once you get to a certain point, the only thing you could do is give them the information and the proper tools to try to help them do whatever they plan to do as safely as possible. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, that's all you can do. You know what I mean? I don't recommend people go to the streets, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, selling drugs or doing X, Y, and Z. But if somebody's going to do that, man, you just give them the tools, man. You would try to push them away from that lifestyle, but, you know, just tell them the ins and the outs and, hey, wish them luck. You know what I mean? That's all you can do. So look, on my show, before we get out of here, I usually like to end it. If you have any, you know, inspirational or motivational speech or quote that you could give to somebody going through a hard time or trying to make it through a rough patch, what would you tell that person?
Give it one more day, right? Like, you know, just wait till tomorrow. Anything that's bad now always gets better.
Facts.
Right? So you just got to get through the hard parts, and it will get better. I mean, that's really all I can say, because I can't promise nothing else.
Right. I mean, but that's the truth, man. You know what I'm saying? I always tell people, you know, the storm doesn't last forever. You know what I mean? And I heard you speak earlier about mental clarity. You know, sometimes you got to take a break and reposition yourself. Sometimes you got to do different things. You got to remove some people. You got to add some people. You know, you got to find balance. You know what I mean? And a lot of times people give up before they find that balance, but they also don't take the proper steps to give themselves, you know, space to grow. Where can the people find you?
TikTok is NARISSA Cupcakes. My IG is NAR_Cupcakes. YouTube under NARISSA Cupcakes. I mean, I try to keep everything real nice and simple because I'm legit. So I don't need to have 20 different names and stuff. And if you know, if any of your followers fuck with, you know, online stuff, I do have justfor.fans/NARISSA Cupcakes. I post everything. I'm getting fucked. I'm sucking. I'm getting titty fucked. I masturbate. It's all good. We keep it fun. You know, twerking, the whole thing, you know. And I'm a white girl with booty, so I do got that. It's you know.
Yeah, I found you online. I checked you out online. I see what you got going on. Oh, by the way, that's what I forgot to ask you. Cupcakes. Explain where the name Cupcakes came from.
Oh yeah, you know what? That should have been my funny story. So when I first started doing this, I was like, wow, they're spending a lot of money on me, and all I'm giving them is sex, right? And so I was, you know, I'm going to stand out. I'm going to stand out from everybody else. I was at the house, I was baking cupcakes, and I was going to give every client a cupcake when he saw me.
Right.
Well, it turns out that when you're new in this industry, everybody thinks you're trying to drug them. Not one person would take them, and they looked at me like, bitch, what's in it?
Right.
Nobody. So I stopped making cupcakes, but that's where it came from. It was that, and then plus I've always had a big booty. Like, I've always been very like curvy. So I was like, yeah, NARISSA Cupcakes. I got cakes for days, and I'm gonna bake for every person that comes to see me, which ended up not lasting because, again, I had like no reviews. So people were like, "Nuh-uh, you trying to Cardi B me? Nope, nope."
All right.
Yeah,
Well,
so I don't bake anymore.
well, I greatly appreciate it. And y'all, there we have it, man. Y'all know my saying, yesterday's wins, no losses count. If you woke up blessed to be alive, you know what I'm saying? Keep pushing forward to strive for a greater tomorrow. This your dog, Hollywood Spryte, a.k.a. Brilliance. And that's NARISSA, man. NARISSA CUPCAKES, that is. You know what I'm saying? And y'all go check her out. And, hey, we'll be back with another one next time, man. Salute.
Thank you.
Veracity Exchange Television.